we have entered into the topic equations. And first of all, we want to get involved in clearing fractions in equations. And that was why we have this first question that says that we should solve the equation x all over 9 is equal to 2. If you have something like this to solve, what I'm going to do is write what you have in the right hand side of the equation to be in fraction form so that you can cross multiply. The equation becomes x all over 9 is equal to 2 all over 1. 2 means 2 all over 1 in fraction form. You cannot cross multiply. This means cross multiplication, not centimeters. 2 times 9 will give you 18. Is equal to x times 1 will give you x. That means x is equal to 18. Becomes the solution. The second question becomes solve the equation h is equal to 18 plus 5h all over 7. Write everything in the left hand side and on the right hand side of the equation to be in fraction form. So this will be h all over 7. I only wrote h in its fraction form. That is h all over 1. Now we are going to cross multiply. 1 times all the things we have here will give us all the things we have there, which is 18 plus 5h, which will now be equal to h times 7, which will give you 7h. We are going to collect like terms. Subtract 5h from both sides so as to remove 5h from the left hand side and take it to the right hand side. If you do that, you'll be left with only 18 in the left hand side, and it's going to be equal to 7h, which you already have in the right hand side of the equation, and you have minus 5h. 18 is going to be equal to 7h minus 5h will give you 2h. 2h is equal to 18. That means only h will be 18 divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. That means the value of h becomes... Question number 3 says we should solve the equation r all over 2 is equal to 1 all over 2 plus 2r all over 5. First of all, simplify the right hand side of the equation, or make the right hand side of the equation a single fraction. In trying to do that, you find the LCM of the denominators. The LCM of 2 and 5 is 10. 2 divides 10 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 5 divides 10 is 2. 2 times 2r will give you 4r. Bring down r all over 2, which has been in the left hand side of the equation. By this time, you can now cross multiply. R times 10 will give you 10r. Will now be equal to 2 times 5 plus 4r will give you something like this, 2 into 5 plus 4r. Remove brackets. You're going to have in the right hand side of the equation 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times plus 4r will give you plus 8r. That is the value of 10r. Now, subtract 8r from both sides of the equation so as to eliminate 8r from the right hand side of the equation. That will give you 10r minus 8r is equal to 10. If you subtract 8r from 10r, you're going to have 2r left, and it will be equal to 10. Divide both sides by 2 so as to eliminate 2, which is the coefficient of r in the left hand side. When you do that, you have only r in the left hand side. It will now be equal to 10 all over 5. Sorry, 10 all over 2. 10 all over 2 is 5. And that becomes the solution of the equation. Solve the equation. X plus 9 all over 5 plus 2 plus x all over 2 is equal to 0. What we're going to do is simplify the left-hand side of the equation, or make the left-hand side of the equation to have a single denominator. In doing that, you are going to find the LCM of 5 and 2, which is 10. Draw a line across. 5 divides 10 is 2. 2 times x plus 9 will give you 2 into x plus 9. Bring down the sign of addition. 2 divides 10 will give you 5. 5 times 2 plus x will give you 5 into 2 plus x is equal to 0. Now remove the brackets, or clear the brackets. 2 times x will give you 2x. 2 times 9 will give you 18. Bring plus. 5 times 2 will give you 10. 5 times x will give you 5x. Remember, odd over 10 is equal to 0. Now collect like terms. 2x plus 5x will give you 7x. 18 plus 10 will give you 28. All over 10 is equal to 0. At this level, you can cross multiply. Remember that 0 in fraction form means 0 all over 1. All the things you have upstairs should multiply the things you have downstairs in the other side of the equation. While the things you have downstairs in this left hand side will multiply what you have upstairs in the right hand side. 10 times 0 will give you 0. So you have 0 is now equal to anything times 1 is that thing. That means 7x plus 28 times 1 will give you 7x plus 28. So you're going to have 7x plus 28. Now subtract both sides of the equation by 28. If you do that, you will eliminate 28 from the right hand side of the equation. So you're going to have minus 28 in the left hand side of the equation, and it's going to be equal to 7x. The next thing is divide both sides by 7 so as to eliminate 7, which is the coefficient of x in the left hand side of the equation. When you do that, you're going to discover you have only x left in the right hand side of the equation, while in the left hand side you have minus 28 divided by 7. And if you use 7 to divide minus 28, you'll be left with minus 4, which is x. If you like, you can write x in the left hand side of the equation is now equal to minus 4. Question number 5, which is going to be the last question we are going to take in clearing fractions. It says 2x is equal to 5x plus 1 all over 7 plus 3x minus 5 all over 2. What we're going to do is to make the fractions in the right hand side of the equation to have a single denominator, so that you'll be able to cross multiply and get forward. In trying to do that, find the LCM of 7 and 2, and the LCM of 7 and 2 will give you 14. Draw a line across. 7 divides 14 will give you 2. 2 times 5x plus 1 will give you 2 into 5x plus 1. Bring down the sign of addition. 2 divides 14 will give you 7. 7 times x, 3x minus 5 will give you 7 into 3x minus 5. Remember, in the left-hand side of the equation, we have 2x all over 1, which is 2x in fraction form. At this level, you can cross multiply. First of all, remove the brackets to make the numerator of the right-hand side of the equation simpler. You're going to have, I'm bringing down 2x all over 1, that is in the left-hand side of the equation, is equal to 2 times 5x will give you 10x. 2 times 1 will give you plus 2. Bring down the sign of addition, this one. 7 times 3x will give you 21x. Then 7 times minus 5 will give you minus 35. All over 14. So at this level, you can cross multiply. 2x times 14 will give you 28x. In the left hand side of the equation, and is equal to 1 times all the things you have in the numerator in the right hand side will give you all you have in the numerator in the right hand side, which is 10x plus 2 plus 21x minus 37. The next thing you do now is collect like terms. We have 28x already in the left hand side of the equation. Take 10x to the left hand side, it will change to minus 10x. Take 21x also to the left hand side, it will change to minus 21x. It will now be equal to what you have left in the right hand side is now 2 and minus 35. Okay? Minus 10x minus 21x will give you minus 31x. That is, we are going to have 28x, I want to make it simpler, minus 10 plus 21 is 31. So we have 31x is now equal to, subtract that 31 from 2, you'll be left with minus 33. Okay? Now in this case now, remove 31 from 28. You'll be left with 3. That means we're going to have 3x. And that's going to be minus 3x. Because 28x minus 31x will give you minus 3x. Is now equal to minus 33. Now divide both sides by minus 3. So as to eliminate minus 3 from the left hand side of the equation, we'll be left with x in the left hand side, which will be equal to minus 33 divided by minus 3. And if you use minus 3 to divide minus 33, you'll be left with 11. Plus 11 now becomes the solution to that equation that puts an end to all we need to know in equation sub-topic clearing fractions as at of this level. Welcome to yet another concept. Equations with unknown denominators. I hope you know in fractions there are 2 parts of a fraction, or 2 things that must be present in a fraction to make it a fraction. That is the numerator and the denominator. Now we are into equations with unknown denominators. That is where you have the unknowns below the fractions or on the downside of the fractions. Just like the first question said, they said we should solve the equation 1 all over 9 is equal to 1 all over r. You can see that the unknown we have here, which is r, is in the denominator. This is a simple thing. What we're going to do is just cross multiply. 1 times r will give you r. 9 times 1 will give you 9. And that is the end of that equation. The next we have is this question number 2 that says solve the equation 4 all over 9 minus 2 all over p is equal to 0. What we're going to do in this case is simplify the left hand side of the equation. Find the LCM of 9 and p. The LCM of 9 and p is 9 times p, which is 9p. So write 9p. Draw a line across. 9 divides 9p. 9 we cancel 9 and leave you with p. P times 4 will give you 4p. Bring down the sign of minus. P divides 9p. P we cancel p and leave you with 9. 9 times 2 will give you 18. It's now equal to 0. Remember that 0 means 0 all over 1 in fraction form. At this level, you can cross multiply. 0 times anything is 0. So you have 0 is now equal to, bring down 4p minus 18, because 1 times 4p minus 18 will give you 4p minus 18. Add 18 to both sides of the equation. That is what you do to eliminate minus 18 from the right hand side of the equation. So you are going to have 18. That is 0 plus 18 is now equal to, in the right hand side of the equation, you'll be left with only 4p. 0 plus anything is that thing. So you have 18 left in the left hand side of the equation and it's equal to 4p. The next thing you do is to divide both sides of the equation by 4, so as to eliminate 4 from the right hand side of the equation. 18 divided by 4. 18 all over 4 will now be the value of p. And 18 divided by 4 will give you 4 and a half. 4 and a half becomes the solution to that equation. Question number 3 says we should solve the equation 2 all over x is equal to 6 all over 11. Just cross multiply. There is not much to do. X times 6 will give you 6x. To now be equal to 2 times 11 will give you 22. Divide both sides by 6 to eliminate the coefficient of x in the left hand side. If you do that, you'll be left with only x in the left hand side, and it's going to be equal to 22 divided by 6. Divide out this. 2 can divide it to give you 3. 2 can divide 22 to give you 11. So you're going to have 3 divides 11 will give you 3. And we're left with 2. That means 3 whole number 3 whole number 2 all over 3 becomes the value of x in that equation. Solve the equation 16 all over 9 plus 4 all over 3x is equal to 0. Find the LCM of the left hand side of the equation. The LCM of 9 and 3x is 9x. Draw your line across. 9 divides 9x. 9 we cancel 9 and leave you with x. Then x times 16 will give you 16x. Bring down the sign of addition. 3x divides 9x. 3 will divide 9 to give you 3. X will divide x to cancel. That means what you will be left with is 3. Then 3 times 4 will give you 12. It's equal to 0. Remember that this 0 is 0 all over 1 in fraction form. You can cross multiply now. 1 times all the things you have in the numerator in the left hand side will give you all the things you have there, which is 16x plus 12. It will now be equal to 0, because anything times 0, if you say 9x times 0, the value is 0. Now subtract 12 from both sides of the equation so as to eliminate plus 12 in the left hand side. When you do that, you'll be left with only 16x in the left hand side, and it's going to be equal to 0 minus 12. Remember that 16x, 0 minus 12 is minus 12. Now, you are going to divide both sides of the equation by 16 so as to eliminate 16 from the coefficient, or as the coefficient of x in the left hand side. When you do that, you'll be left with only x in the left hand side, and it's going to be equal to minus 12 divided by 16. Minus 12 divided by 16 will give you minus 4 can divide this to give you 3. 4 divide this to give you 4. So we have minus 3 all over 4 to be the value of x. Minus 12 divided by 16. Minus 12 divided by 16 will give you minus 4 can divide this to give you 3. 4 divide this to give you 4. So we have minus 3 all over 4 to be the value of x. The next question we have is, we are asked to solve the equation 3 all over x is equal to 1 over 5 plus 8 all over 35. Simplify the right hand side of the equation so as to have that fractions having one denominator. The LCM of 5 and 35 will be 35. 5 divides 35 is 7. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 35 divided 35 is 1. 1 times 8 will give you 8. In the left hand side of the equation, you have 3 all over x. You can cross multiply. Or first of all, add 7 and 8. So you are going to have in the left hand side, 3 all over x is equal to 7 plus 8 is 15. So I'm going to have 15 all over 35. If you like, simplify this fraction by cancelling out. 5 divides 15 is 3. 5 divides 35 is 7. So what we have in the right hand side of the equation now, instead of 15 all over 35, is now 3 all over 7. So we can cross multiply now. 3, or rather, first of all, so that we have the unknown in the left hand side of the equation. X times 3 will give you 3x. Will now be equal to 3 times 7 will give you 21. The next thing you do now is to divide both sides by 3 so as to eliminate 3 from the left hand side of the equation. When you do that, x will only be left in the left hand side of the equation, and in the right hand side you have 21 divided by 3. And 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 becomes the value of x in that equation. This is going to be the last question we're going to take in equations with unknown denominators. It says that we should solve the equation 9 all over 4y minus 5 all over y plus 11 all over 3 is equal to 0. The first thing you do here is simplify the left hand side of the equation. Find the LCM of 4y, y and 3. And the LCM of 4y, y and 3 will be 12y. So write 12y, draw a line across, and begin to divide. 4y divides 12y. 4 we divide 12, we leave it with 3. Y we cancel 3. Y. So we'll be left with 3. 3 times 9 will give you 27. So write 27, bring that the sign of subtraction. Y divides 12y. Y we cancel y and leave you with 12. Now 12 times 5 is going to give you 60. So you have 60. Bring down the sign of addition. 3 divides 12y. 3 we cancel 12 and leave you with 4. So we have 4y left. 4y times 11 will give you 44y. All is equal to 0. Remember that 0 is 0 over 1 in fraction form. At this level you can cross multiply. This does not mean CM. It means cross multiplication. Okay? All the things you have in the numerator here times 1 will give you all the things you have there, which is 27 minus 60 plus 44y is now equal to anything times 0 is 0. 12y times 0 will give you 0. Now collect like times, subtract 27 from 60. Whatever you have is going to be a negative because it is 60 that is needed to be subtracted from 27. Take 1 from here and put here, you have 10. 10 minus 7, you have 3 left. This will remain 5. 5 minus 2 will give you 3. Plus 44y is equal to 0. Add 33 to both sides of the equation so as to eliminate minus 33 from the left hand side and be left with only 44y in the left hand side. When you do that, you're going to have 44y only left in the left hand side of the equation, and it's going to be equal to 0 plus 33. 0 plus 33 is 33. So we have 44y is equal to 33. Now divide both sides by 44 so as to eliminate 44 from the left hand side of the equation, and you'll be left with only y. So we're going to have in the left hand side of the equation y is equal to 33 divided by 44. And 33 divided by 44, if you use 11 to divide, 11 divided 44 will give you 4. Divide 33 will give you 3. That means y is 3 all over 4. And that becomes the solution to that last question on the subtopic equations with unknown denominators as at of this level, GSS 3.